What is going on, people? This is episode 27, I believe, of
Yeah,
the first and Framerates podcast. We got me and VF here. DJ couldn't make it; he's feeling a little bit under the weather, but it's all good.
yeah.
Got a lot of.
If DJ was here, he'll correct us. It's probably 28, but even though you said 27, it's probably 28.
I know, right?
And he's the one that usually correct us, but whatever. We'll find. You will know by the description or by the title, so it's all good.
But yeah, so I'm Bill's Ford. Of course, on the other side, we got my founder of this and the lead host. Not today, because I'm leading, but VF, what's going on?
Man, I just been sitting back chilling, man, playing games and just watching stuff on Twitter, just chilling, man. Not trying to, make it seem like I'm just looking above it all, but I just been cooling off since it's just been around the calm before the storm, before all these sports titles come out, and watching people go haywire behind these games or whatever. I'm like,
It's nice. It's nice to sit back and watch sometimes, you know.
yeah, I mean, not only that, it's just that when you have like developers and you have other fanboys going out their way to take down another game, and it is not necessarily taking down a game. It's just trying to uplift the game that they like. It's like these games, they play basketball. Why can't you just be a fan of basketball? I mean, I digress. I mean, I've seen you, being, pretty much balanced with what you've been saying about both games, and
Yeah.
that's the way it should be. But you just have people that push agendas, and for me, it kills gaming. But
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna get into that topic a little bit later. We're also gonna talk about NBA news. Been a lot of movement of players in the past couple hours, past couple days. Gonna talk about that. And a couple other topics. There'll be some surprises for y'all. So, yeah, let's start with that very topic: NBA 2K and NBA Live. Everybody seems to be going haywire over which game is their favorite game. It's almost like they're not paying for these games.
I mean, it's okay to have a favorite out of the two. I mean, me personally,
Of course.
out of both series, I prefer the 2K series because of. I mean, I'm just a big fan of the Dreamcast. So with that being said, that's just me. But you just have some people that just they're just haywire and they just go way out of bounds with it.
I mean, you got folks all over the place just going hard on one side, going hard on the other side. Every little piece of information that gets revealed, they either damage control it or pretty much try to downplay it on both sides. I'm trying to stay in the middle. If not, pretty much reveal to people that there are good points in live as far as basketball is concerned, as opposed to what a lot of these 2K fanboys will tell you. Of course, on the other side of it, you got the live fanboys thinking that, 2K is pretty much going to get taken down this year, even though we haven't seen anything from 2K. So on both sides of the coin, you just got a lot of craziness going on. What do you think about the discussion or argument that's going on right now in the community? I don't think it's very beneficial. I don't think it gets anything done. I think they're passing time, but they're not passing time in a very constructive manner. But I can't tell people how to spend their free time. What do you think about it?
Nah, I think that's what it is at the end of the day, that people are just, passing time. I mean, that's what I want to think, that they're just passing time. I don't necessarily think I don't want to think that they're out there just straight up fanboying for one or the other. I mean, at the end of the day, you should be a fanboy of basketball. I mean, if people act like they can't buy both games, they act like they're broke and they can't, they gotta buy one, even though one of these games we know for sure is not going to be a $60 game. It better not be a $60 game. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, I don't think NBA Live 19 should be a $60 game. I mean, I just don't. But
Well, we already said in this podcast we should get the shit for free.
well, we're not going to go there because some of these guys who are white knighting for NBA Live, they've been the ones. I mean, we've been playing the series longer than they have since 14 came out.
Amen to that.
I mean, when a lot of these guys, they abandoned 14. As soon as they felt that the game wasn't up to par. We've been there for all 7 or 8 updates.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You know, Live 15 came out. They did the same thing. They played it for a little bit and then they ran off. Well, I mean, I know you haven't played it as much as I have, but I have over. Man, oh God, I can't tell you how many hours I got on
Right. I
NBA
pretty
Live
much
15.
made up for that on Live 16 because I know you weren't feeling it.
And there's no way I could have
nah,
played
yeah.
16. I'm sorry. There's no white knighting on that game. You can't fanboy it. That game was horrible. That game was bad.
Nah, it was,
I don't care what nobody say. Yeah, I mean, if you can talk about the play calling was nice and the way people move motion is okay, but the game of basketball was highly compromised.
No layups off the
game.
backboard, despite what people try to tell you.
Yeah, I mean, they had like an update where they tried to make it better, but by then it was too late because it still wasn't consistent. You know, and Live 18 was a very good game. I mean, I'm not going to knock it. It was a very good game. The only knock I had on the game, when I had the game for Xbox One, it kept freezing on me. So, I mean, that's not a knock on the game that is bad. It's just that the game just didn't function on my Xbox One.
Forget about the franchise mode that looked like it was something out of 1991.
Yeah, I mean, the franchise mode wasn't there, but what really killed me was the fact that you could not customize players in franchise mode when they actually put the customization in the game finally. You know, I mean, customization in franchise mode is like, you know, that's what you want. I mean, if you trade a player, you know, they still have the same double numbers. If it was person on the team with the same number, you couldn't change anything. And it was like, you know, and somebody tried to tell me that, you know, you had to make all the transactions yourself and then go in and play a franchise mode. I mean,
that defeats the purpose that's when I know, of playing franchise.
Exactly. That's when I knew it was terrible. That's when I knew I was done.
Yeah, I talked to DJ before. I'm not playing Live 18 anymore. And the thing is, Live 18 is a really good game of basketball. But I refuse to sit and play now forever. After a while, that shit gets boring. I'm sorry. I want to start a franchise. I want to play this great game of basketball y'all put out. Because, believe it or not, don't believe what these clowns out here are saying. This is a really good game of basketball. The ball is way more tangible in the game than it is in 2K. The on-ball defense is better than it is in 2K. Don't buy into this hype and you know, people downplaying the game. It's really not bad.
No. The defense in Live is probably like the best defense I've played in a long time. I mean, even with 2K, they had it pretty decent in 16 and 17. When the problem was they tried to give you
in the
easy
so-called
blow-bys.
physics engine. It's not a physics engine because you get the same animation every time.
And like everybody just ran past everybody in 18, and that was the main problem with 18. I mean, other than that, I mean, everything else was okay with the game, but it's just that driving to the basket was like you might well have nobody.
And that's the thing, like,
you know,
from my perspective, as far as NBA 2K and NBA Live stuff, it's just funny to me because a lot of the people that are talking are people who haven't put in any work to make either of those games better, but they're the first people that want to sit and criticize the game. You know how many hours I put into making rosters for 2K18, and people got the nerve to call me a 2K hater. I'm like, how? I'm just stating issues in the game.
But see, this is the thing. When me and you talk about the flaws of each game, it's more like what the developers failed to do or what the developers just haven't had time to finish. You know, for us, but when we talk about problems in the game, you know, basically that's what it is. We're not out here just bashing the game because at the end of the day, those things can be fixed. But for the average person who listens to our podcast and just want to play a game, they're not going to go into the game like we do and actually try to change things around and make it. They just want to play the game. And if that's the case, if you really want a basketball game that you can just pick up and play and don't have to worry about the sliders, I hate to say it, you're going to have to go back and play NBA 2K11.
Big issue
maybe
as far as these current games goes on.
Yeah. I mean, maybe you might have to even go back to play NBA 2K16
unless you want to try All-Star stock on 2K18, you might have a decent experience. But even then, like we said, the blow-by animations make the game, it's still going to be there. Yeah. The ball will be more tangible, don't get me wrong, but the blow-by animation will make the game pretty much unplayable because their on-ball defense will be non-existent.
Like I said, you can play, and people don't like to play old sports games, which I still don't understand why
Graphics.
not. I mean, if you love the sport, it does.
That's what it is.
But that's eye candy. If you love the sport, it doesn't matter when it came out. If it replicates the sport properly, it doesn't matter. I mean, like you, for instance, you still go back and play NBA 2K7
and Madden 04 and. Yeah.
Man, that's what I'm saying. You go back, but the thing is, you go back because you get a good experience, and I mean that's what some people should do. I mean, I can't tell people necessarily how to play their games, but if I'm giving you advice on how to get the experience that you're looking for, and you fail to take it, who fault is that?
Yeah, that's the
thing.
You
know what I'm saying? If I tell people like the last few weeks ago or a week ago. People been bitching and moaning about NCAA football 14. It's like, why would you sit here and bitch and moan about this game when some of these people, and I'm going to be honest, some of these people are double dipping on Madden. They're going to be paying almost $100, $120 on Madden, but when you can get NCAA 14 and a console for less than that. You see what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not going to be complaining and whining about something that I can't play. I may complain about the quality of a game. I mean, because I'm a consumer and I'm paying for a game, but I'm not about to bitch and moan about something.
And that's the thing. It's like when it comes down to it, I make sliders for all of these games because, quite frankly, none of these games are coming out right. And rather than me sitting there complaining for 8-9 months, I choose to try to correct the things that I see that are wrong. But yeah, I was just gonna say, go ahead. It's like. For me, in order for me to enjoy a game, it has to be playing in a simulation, a simulation way. Like, I can't just ignore certain issues with the game because not only does it not challenge me after a certain period of time, but also it's just not very realistic once you go on the franchise. You'll get bored really easily. At least I will.
I mean, and see, this is why we take a different approach when it comes to these games. We don't sit here and just bash Madden and scream 2K all the time because 9 times out of 10, the things that people say there's a problem in the game, we can fix it to the point where it's actually playable. Is it a full-on sim? Absolutely not. I'm gonna tell you right now, Madden. I'm gonna put it like this: NBA Live with its issues will be a full-on sim before Madden will be. I hate to say it. NBA Live will be a full-on sim basketball game before Madden be a full-on sim football game. But with that being said, that doesn't mean that we can't try to tweak the game to make it work for us. I mean, that they got the tools out there for it. And if you try the tools and they don't work for you, have a nice day. You tried. But then again, you can't spend the next 8-9 months bashing the game. I mean, that's unhealthy. I just don't see how. It's too many other games out here to play to be dealing with that. Yeah. Old or new.
I got tired of Madden 18 last year as far as franchise was concerned, and I went and played Madden 04. And I was fine with it. I went and played NFL 2K5. I was fine with it. Played NCAA 14. I was fine with it. I didn't. Yeah.
I mean, I can't tell you how many football games I've talked about this on the old channel, and maybe one day I'll make another video about it. Man, I have over maybe 40 sports titles, maybe more than that. I probably got maybe 60 different sports titles in this game room. Why in the world would I be fussing about Madden 19 if it's not up to par? I just go play something else. I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm different. So
I think in this day and age, a lot of gamers want to play games with these graphics up to par and resolution, frame rate, all that. They don't want to go back and play the older games because they feel like they shouldn't have to, which they're right. But in a situation where a game is released and you don't really like how it's playing, you don't really have many alternatives.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Why they should not have to go back and play old games?
Well, because these games, as much as we're paying, these games should come out right every year.
What if you don't pay for it?
Well, if you don't pay for it, that's completely different. We already know how I feel about that.
I mean, I'm just saying, if you decide not to buy the game, why would you?
Oh, well, if you decide not to buy the game, then come on.
See, that's what I'm saying. Now, if you're like me and you who buy the game every year, you know, yeah, I mean, we would have a right to complain about it, but like I said, we're cut from a different cloth. We buy these games and flip that around to try to make it work for us.
Mm-hmm.
It takes no more than an hour at the most to actually go in and try to look at what works, what don't work, what we're going to change, what we're not going to change. Is the pass blocking right? Is the awareness right? Do you think this person's awareness should be the same as the next man? Do you can see this happen because he didn't go for an interception, or he didn't go for the catch, or he didn't go for the tackle? I mean, you have to know your personnel, and if it doesn't work for you, then try to fix it. If you can't, if it's not up to your standards, then don't worry about it. Find something else to do.
And I told you in June that based on the foot planning and the other stuff they were adding in the game, I could already see that there were tools they were putting in where if the sliders worked the same as last year, like, I'd be able to work with that. Because that's my mindset when I'm buying a sports game. Like, I already know the game is going to come out not up to par as far as simulation, because they can't satisfy everybody, unfortunately, even though they call themselves a simulation game company. So, from my perspective, I say, look, if Madden comes out with the tools that I need, like foot planning and all this other stuff, I'll tweak the game to where it does play like a sim. And, like you said, have a good day. Simple as that.
I think when we go back full circle, you just have to think like with this NBA Live, NBA 2K, it's a nice rivalry. It is. Mm-hmm. But some people just take it another step too far to where it's like, you know, I mean, nothing took the cake from what it was last year when we did the podcast, and somebody tried to say NBA Live Kyrie moves, NBA 2K stole those moves from NBA Live. That mind boggled me. I was like, yo, Kyrie is Kyrie. Both of y'all stole to get the moves from him. Right. It doesn't matter if Live has it or not. You know, it's just stuff like that is just, I mean, I ignore it on Twitter, but it's just those things is like, why are we dealing with that type of stuff?
Yeah, it's just like Rock Nation on Twitter. Shout out to him. He asked me which game was I buying as far as PES versus FIFA, and I was honest. I said, look, I'm probably gonna buy one of those games at launch. The other one, I'm probably gonna get at a later date, but I'll probably double dip on them because I already know it's going to be two good titles. It's just a matter of which title is going to give me what. I already know FIFA is going to give you licensing. Gameplay is going to be decent. PES is going to give you good gameplay. They're going to have no licensing. So what I told them was I'll probably get FIFA first. When people start putting out the rosters that I can download on PES, then I'll get PES. And that's how I look at it. It's the same with NBA 2K and Live. I might get both on release day. I'm not about to sit and bicker with people back and forth about which game is better and which game ain't, because what it comes down to is you buy the game that you want to play, and that's it.
Well, yeah, I mean, you shouldn't have to look, this podcast is pretty much catered to people that's between the age of 20 and 45. I mean, I've looked at the analytics on, you know, on who watches my, you know, or I didn't say my channel, but I watch the analytics who watch this podcast. It's grown men, people who can spend money to buy both. Why are we out here fussing? I mean, look, buy both, have a good day. I mean, to me, I can see if it was a legitimate type of, you know, a legitimate argument for both. I mean, like back in the day when you had, I mean, this is before your time, and you know, I always talk about this. When you had the Genesis versus the Super Nintendo. Mm-hmm. I mean, those consoles was legitimately different, and they had something different to bring to the table. Now, Live and 2K do have some things different that to bring to the table. Like, for instance, I don't know what 2K19 is coming up with, but when you see this thing with the parks all around the world, yeah, that's something different you can talk about. But people take it too far to be like gameplay gameplay aspects. I'm going to be honest. Both the gameplay for both games are really good. It's just one just does certain things better than the other. Yeah. They're not 100% completely different when it comes to. Now, the only main thing, like one game has maybe really has more clipping than the other.
And the other game has far more animations that are signature animations. And I keep telling people, once Live gets to the point where they have more signature animations in the game for players, they have signature shots for every player, the way 2K has it, or even add, you know, generic shots that you can apply that might look like a guy's shot in the game once you can go and edit all that stuff. Like 2K is not gonna have this huge gap as far as a lead in gameplay because they honestly haven't innovated anything in the past 3 or 4 years. As far as gameplay is concerned, they've had a good base. Live is catching up. Live 18 was a really good game. It was balanced,
I
and
think
yeah,
I think with 19, well, with 2K, they don't have anything else to innovate on. I mean, they've done a very good job with their game.
they don't need to innovate. They don't have to fix.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They don't necessarily need to innovate to do anything better. They just need to. The thing just need to function.
They need to fit. Well, I'll say this. I don't know what happened between 2K17 2K18. They got to fix that damn post game. I'm sorry. There's no way I should be scoring 30 points with Nick Collison in the post.
Yeah, the post moves are there, but some things are
on
effective
defense.
And some things are, no, I'm saying some things are effective and some things are ineffective.
Well, on defense, I think nothing is really effective as far as the computer's concerned. The computer is completely inept at defending anything in the post. There's no counter moves for you when you do a baseline spin, when you do a hop step, when you face up to the basket, go in a triple threat and drive. There's no counter move when you go in live, and I hate to keep bringing up live because I'm not going to compare these two games, but they are basketball games, so it's like I have to kind of use one and use up. When I go to live and I try a certain post move, there'll be a counter. The guy might run me out of bounds. He might swap my shot if I think I have the clearance to put it off the glass, and I really can't. It's like 2K's post game fell off so much from 2K17 to 2K18. It's embarrassing. Why am I scoring 30 points with Nick Collison?
Yeah, I can agree.
Post.
I think the last gen 2K, like when you play like 2K14 on PS3. Now I played on PC because I have the updated. I got the mod and everything. I think that game done very well with the balance of it. I think they had like one animation that was out of whack when you run into somebody. But overall, that game plays very well. And it's like, once they went to next gen, not saying that they fell off, it's just that there are just some things that I think they're moving too fast with the technology they have.
Yeah.
Because they got the technology is so high, it's like they can't fix it for it to be real efficient. Yeah. That's why you see those players going through each other on the blow-bys or the layups or everything's still not tangible because everything looks so silky and looks so clean. I think it probably takes a lot of work to get that stuff done.
And that's the thing. Yeah. 2K18 would have been arguably the best game of this series if they would have been able to implement defense the way it should be implemented. I don't want to hear about this physics-based. It's not physics,
but that's whatever they put in it. That's what.
Oh, that's definitely what it was.
That was the break. Because if you look at 16 post game was great. You remember?
Oh yeah, that was amazing.
I had a my player that was 6'10",
right.
And dude was a beast. 17, it was still good. I mean, on 17, I got 2K17 on PC, and I still have my franchise mode running with the Supersonics. And I did a expansion draft, and I had what's that goofy looking tall dude that used to play for the Pacers? Roy Hibbert. I had Roy Hibbert, and I had Taj Gibson in the backcourt. Post game was great. I had no problem playing with it. I mean, standalone dunks, standing dunks, post game, post hooks, back to the basket layups. I mean, all type of stuff was just working. With 18, it's just whatever they put that physics engine in, whatever you call it. It messed everything up because there was no collision there.
Yeah, they call it physics. I'm just like, there's no way if you put the body sensitivity down all the way to 0, which is supposed to open up these so-called these so-called physics that they have in the game. All it does is give you that blow-by animation every time. But here's the thing: if you put it down for the computer, it works. When you defend the computer, it works. When they defend you, it's a blow-by for you every time. If you put the body sensitivity up to 100, then all of a sudden the computer can keep you in front of them, but then you got to adjust the movement sliders, you got to adjust on-ball defense, you got to adjust acceleration, you got to adjust lateral quick. It's like, if people, and I put this on Twitter, if people really understood how these sliders work, they would realize how flawed 2K really is from a defensive standpoint this year. I don't know what happened, but they need to fix that shit.
No, that defense fell off. I mean, man, oh man, let me tell you what I did this past week, though.
Mm-hmm.
Before we close out this, man, I went back and played College Hoops 2K8.
Oh, boy. And it made you not want to play NCAA basketball, didn't it?
That thing made me not want to play no basketball. Even with this update, with this UBR 2K14 on PC, that thing made me not want to play nothing because I don't know. I guess it was like a little bit of fatigue. You know, I stopped playing it for a while, and then I ran over to play NCAA 10. Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong, NCAA 10 is nice, but when you talk about fundamental basketball, I'm talking about just straight fundamental basketball. I don't think there'll never be another game played like that.
College Hoops 2K8 is as good as it gets.
I'm saying, people can say people can say that the controls aren't 100% fluid because we all got. You know, we all got spoiled with the new controls of Live and 2K, or the current ones. But if you get those controls down and you learn them all again, and you use your basketball mind, man, listen.
Once you get that crossover down on those face buttons, bro, it's a wrap.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, because it's face buttons plus the analog stick. So, listen, I don't know what the hell 2K did. Everybody want to talk about NBA 2K14. Not NBA 2K14, but NCAA Football 14 to come back. 2K, they need to make another college game. That game, I'm sorry. I mean, I love NCAA 10. I do. I love that game. The game is fun. I'm not saying it's not it has some tendencies, mm-hmm. but overall, it's fun. It's compelling. It feels like a college game because that's one thing EA Sports always done. They gave you a college atmosphere with their college games. Now, College Hoops 2K8 got that college atmosphere too. Now, every week they got Greg Gumbel and Kellogg in that game, give you a weekly wrap up, mm-hmm. just like 2K5 did. I mean, the recruiting, you can recruit players from a freshman of high school. You can recruit them as a freshman in high school, so when they become a senior and graduate, they're coming to your school already.
Don't forget about this though. All these freelance sets that they're adding into 2K8, 2K14, 15, 16, 17, 18, they already had them in there.
They already had them back.
They already had that motion, the full tech, all that they're talking about. They already had that.
They had all that in 2K8. It's like, see, people don't like playing older games, but I'm sorry. I will make an exception for college games because we don't have them no more. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not going to dump the college games because that's all we got. Man, I went back to play just to play. I'm like, man, this game is so far ahead of its time. It's ridiculous.
And do you know what made... This is the thing, that if you don't play college sports, or I should say, if you don't watch college sports or you haven't played college sports games, you won't really get why we're so attached to them. So I was talking to, and you were talking to W. Kemp the other day. We were talking about the option offense. And in NCAA 14, when you ran the option, it was just perfect, bro. Like, you had the perfect amount of time to decide whether you're going to hand off the ball or keep it. You had you had to depend on your strengths of your quarterback.
No, the NCAA 14, and let me tell you something. This goes back to EA Sports in general. Mm-hmm. Their college games always been this way. Yeah. Don't get it twisted. Just thinking this NBA 2K. I mean NBA. Good God.
NCAA 14.
Yeah, don't think it's just limited to NCAA 14. Mm-hmm. EA has mastered the college football game since NCAA 2003. Yes. So this is nothing new. Ever since they really started running the option and actually putting player different, because back then college games at EA Sports was just basic college games. When they said, look, we're gonna start putting playbooks, we're gonna give some of these players personality. low key, we're going to actually put the college players in there, even though they technically wasn't supposed
Specific
to.
animations for the option, by the way.
Pacific animation for option. Pacific animation for certain running backs.
Specific animations for play action.
They had, the PS2 Xbox version of these games. This is nothing new. The sidearm throw, when you could throw different with the quarterback. Mm-hmm. All this was there. Like you said, if you have to play to your strengths in NCAA 14, yep. Absolutely, no doubt.
And that's the thing. So you got to watch these college sports and realize how many different offenses are run week to week by these teams. Watch some of the small schools. Watch how they don't throw the ball too much. They basically run option all game. You have some guys that throw the ball 10 times a game. They're out there for the whole game. They're running option and other types of things. Then you got college basketball, where some teams run zone, some teams run man, some teams trap after a made basket, some teams trap the whole game. When you play that in a video game setting and it is done so right, the way College Hoops 2K8 was done so right,
NCAA 14 did it
bro,
right.
Like to play against a team that presses after made baskets, you got to be ready for it. It's not like those rinky-dink presses that they have these days, those traps. Those half-ass traps. Like, these are legitimate traps. Like, you get into a corner and you try to pass the ball out, and it's going to be an inaccurate pass because you're being trapped.
Man, let me tell you, NCAA Basketball 10 on EA don't even have this, or I haven't seen it. College Hoops 2K8 still do the jump ball when both people try to grab the ball out, when you try to snatch the ball out of the other guy's hand. The ref comes in and do a jump ball, and they'll tell you which way it's going to go. I think 2K, NBA still do it, but they don't do it like how they used to. Like the PS3 era, they did it a lot. Mm-hmm. But I'm just saying, it's like whoever was doing the development of the college games, whether it be college hoops or if it was NCAA football, those guys did a fantastic job because of what they put personality in those games. That, like you said, they had it to where everything pretty much was tangible and everything mattered. Matchups mattered. Like right now, that's why we do sliders for Madden. Mm-hmm. Because and everything don't match up correctly. Players don't match up. No. Sometimes ratings don't really matter at times in Madden. NBA 2K, sometimes matchups don't work.
No.
We know on-ball defense don't work in NBA 2K. So it's like we have to use sliders to fix that. NBA Live, they just started putting sliders in their game. But when they put the sliders in, the layup frequency started to work. The dunk frequency, the jump shot frequency. But see, like back then, they already had it programmed that certain players were just better than other players. Yep. And it was just nothing about it. You're not about to go out there with Georgia Southern, and I love my team. Mm-hmm. You're not going to go out there with Georgia Southern, and you're not going to go out there and just like beat up on Penn State like it's nothing. Yeah. You're gonna have to work that.
And God forbid you have players who can't shoot. And that's the thing. See, these dudes these days, what they do is they complain about real basketball tactics. I was never on board with them taking a 1-3-1 press out of the game. But dudes were, you take it out of the game because I can't shoot or dribble or anything. Okay, look. When you used to play the 1-3-1 press in College Hoops 2K8, you better bite that bullet, bruh.
But you know why I think the 1-3-1, they took it out of NBA 2K?
They couldn't effectively implement it.
No, it's not even that. It's like they couldn't implement it because you had the people who were complaining just straight up they wanted to play ISO ball all the time. And if you look at 1-3-1, 1-3-1 is basically a negator of ISO ball. Yep. I mean, you can't go on either side of the court.
You essentially have to run baseline cuts and throw the ball over a wall.
In other words, you have to run plays.
Yep. Which they didn't want to do.
Shout out to the guys at Sim Nation. Shout out to the Czar and all those guys who are in that crew. They teach people how to play basketball in these games that way. Where you have to run these sets, you have to run these plays to actually be successful. Shout out to UC704. He was supposed to be on the podcast. I wonder what happened to him. But UC704, he had many of videos running plays, so you can learn how to play these games with different teams. A lot of I can't say for certain because maybe 1-3-1 was not implemented correctly in the latest form of 2K. But if you're running plays and you're still having problems with it, I get it. But if you're trying to play ISO ball, the 1-3-1 is there to negate that. That's just how it is.
Let me tell you something. If they put the 1-3-1 back in the game, these dudes wouldn't be able to do nearly the bullshit that they try online. Because I go online, I play occasionally just to see what the cheesers are trying these days. And, you know, it used to be the side-to-side cheese. They stopped doing that now. Now what they're doing is they're basically trying to cheese with the pick and roll. But if you know how to make your adjustments to counteract that, you'll end up basically shutting them down. But you have to use both players. You got to control both players. You got to switch from the person guarding the ball handler to the person that's hedging the screen, et cetera, et cetera. Then you got to change your defensive settings. There's a whole bunch of stuff. But my point is, the 1-3-1 would prevent you from having to do all that stuff because the 1-3-1 pretty much defends everything other than the wings. The wings might be open. If you swing it one more time, then you'll get the corner and there's an open shot. But a lot of people don't have the patience to try to beat that.
That once again, what you have to do to swing the ball around. You have to run fucking plays.
You have to run plays.
You know?
I ran the 3-2 zone against somebody and pissed him off. He quit.
Yeah,
you run the zone on a video game? Yeah, I am, because all you're doing is shooting threes.
It's a simulation basketball game. What are you talking about?
But like I said, man.
See, but you know what though? You know what? We can, before we jump on over to the next topic about the actual NBA. That's why NBA 2K. That's why NBA Live. They promote all this park shit. That's why they promote all this stuff, because everybody wants to play that type of basketball. Nobody wants to be methodical and actually play basketball in these games. Mm-hmm. Like I said, you have a group of people that's out here in the community that thrives on that stuff. They want to teach you. But a lot of these dudes, the majority of these dudes do not. I repeat, they do not want to go play a legit 5-on-5 basketball.
I think one of my best videos, probably my best video I've ever done. It got barely any views, but I basically put up a video last year that gave the blueprint to defending the Golden State Warriors. And that's around the time where I really wanted to use my YouTube as a teaching tool of how to play basketball, how to play football, et cetera, you know, in a simulation.
Well, you might want to get back to doing that, because I would like to see some of that.
Oh, no, yeah, I probably will. I mean, because that's the thing, I've been so much on Twitter. Twitter's just more convenient. But, you know, I got to get back to doing the YouTube videos, because obviously I have more time that I can talk. But basically, you know, you guys can go to my channel, Bills at Bills4 for Bills4, obviously, and find a video. But basically, I was given a blueprint. I went into the settings. I showed you everything that you would need to do to defend them, as far as pick and roll and who to tag on the roll, basically bumping them when they're coming through the lane, who to pre-rotate to, who to pick up 90 feet when they get the ball on the inbounds, who to leave open and not rotate to. And then I basically played, you know, the first quarter or so and showed you that it works. So those are some of the teaching tools that I like using. This year with Madden, I might do a series on the franchise, because I think it's going to be a lot deeper with scheme fits and things like that. But also a lot of these schemes that they're putting into the game, as far as the playbooks are concerned, can be, a good series to do, to show people certain playbooks, what works, what doesn't, to explain the sliders a little bit more, because a lot of people don't really understand what the sliders mean and how, you know, tweaking one thing here or there will make the game a lot more playable. So those are some of the things to look for in the future, but just a sneak peek at that is we've been talking about the on-ball defense. The way to solve the on-ball defense problem, if you're having a problem in 2K, basically what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to put the acceleration up for the computer. And this is basically if you're experiencing that it's too easy to score. You got to put the acceleration up for the computer. You got to put the lateral quickness up for the computer. You have to put the on-ball defense up for the computer. And you have to put the movement sliders. You have to put the acceleration without the ball. You got to put that up for the computer too. Then you got to put the body sensitivity up to 100 for them. After all of that, they might be able to stay in front of you for a good portion of the game, depending on who's defending you. But even then, it's kind of a wash for this year, bro. I really
that shit sounds like a lot of work, bro.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. I mean, I told people I made a roster. Probably I would say around I'd say January or February. I made a roster. I pretty much did every team's tendencies, playbook, which plays they like to run for each player in order of the priority, and I did how many touches they get per game. Like, I did all that stuff because I am an offline player. And in order for me to enjoy the game I love, which is basketball, the sport I love, I had to have the computer playing the way I see it when I watch an NBA game. So I took the time to do that. A lot of people aren't going to take the time to make a roster. Hell, they're not even going to take time to make a slider set. But I will tell you this. If you do take the time to do either of those things, it's worth it. It is. If you have any questions, just hit me up on Twitter. I've delved into sliders in pretty much every sports game I've played. 2K, I'm very well versed in all the sliders, what they mean, etc. And same for Madden. So like I said, if you want to improve your experience with these games, you have any questions, feel free to hit me up. VF does sliders too. You can hit him up. Yeah, that's pretty much our whole spiel on this 2K versus live thing. So on to the real NBA.
Yeah, what's going on in the real NBA, man? You started off again.
Man, Carmelo, huh? Carmelo get.
I'm not even tripping on the Carmelo.
No. I'm not tripping, but I think my whole thing with this is just I just find it very funny. So it started out with him being on New York. He got paid a shit ton of money. He didn't really bring them any type of results. Part of that can be Phil Jackson. And the other part can be the fact that Carmelo really didn't want to play there after a certain amount of time, which is fine. But it's funny because now he's getting bought out. He's getting his full $27 million that's left. OKC pretty much paid him to leave, essentially. And now they're getting Dennis Schroeder. And I want your opinion on this because I already gave my opinion on Twitter, and I'll give my opinion again here. But in short, for now, I don't think it's going to work. What do you think?
No, it's not going to work out. I mean, I think it'd be great if him and Westbrook play together because you need somebody to hold the ball while Westbrook do what he wants, do his thing. But the problem is Westbrook wants to hold the ball and do his thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the problem.
I think,
and I just don't think they're coexist.
I think it's gonna be a situation like Reggie Jackson and Westbrook, and it wasn't even so much with them on the court together. It was more so when they weren't playing on the court together. When one guy was leading their unit and the other guy was leading his unit. Because what happens is you start to get this alpha dog personality where Reggie Jackson felt like he should have been starting, but he knew he wasn't going to start over Westbrook. I could easily see Dennis Schroeder. He's a good enough player to where he'll dominate with the second unit, and he might think, why am I sitting behind Westbrook? So,
yeah, exactly.
All in all, I don't know what Dennis Schroeder's contract situation is. I'd be willing to bet if he is gone after the season, as far as the contract being up, I don't think he'll re-sign. I think he'll want to go somewhere where he can start. This is just going to be a one-year rental. It might work out if they don't play too much on the court at the same time. But even then, Schroeder's ego, rightfully so, if he balls out, will tell him, I need to go somewhere where I can start. Because Reggie Jackson...
No. They need to go ahead and just put Westbrook at the 2. That's what they need to do.
I don't think
put him at
Billy Donovan has the balls to tell Westbrook, you're going to play off ball.
That's Westbrook's problem, and he'll continue to get triple doubles and get bounced out of the first round.
I think that's Billy Donovan's problem, and I won't even say it's Billy Donovan's problem. I gotta blame the person who keeps hiring these pushover coaches.
Yeah, I agree, but I'm just saying that Dennis Schroeder is perfect for
Yeah.
Westbrook. I think Westbrook will really thrive, but Westbrook wants the ball.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? If he just lays off and let Schroeder run the offense, I think Westbrook will really thrive. Damn all the triple doubles. Why don't you just go ahead and let him hold the ball and he run the offense and you get 28, 28, 7 and 7
Mm-hmm.
or 28, 28, 7 and 5 and get into the second round of the playoffs for Pete's
I
sake.
guarantee you this: Dennis Schroeder will make sure that PG and Westbrook touch the ball as much as they want to and need to win, because that's what Dennis Schroeder is about.
I don't think he'll have them touch the ball when they want to. I think he'll let them touch the ball when they need
That's
to.
what I'm saying. Well,
There's a total difference
because
because what they're doing now is touching the ball when they want to, and you see where that got them.
Yeah. You got a point.
You know what I'm saying? Schroeder is a very good point guard for all intents and purposes. I think he'll play better because he's not in Atlanta anymore, because he was pretty much fed up with how things were going on in Atlanta. He was fed up with him being in OKC, which is clearly a better environment because the fans there love their basketball team.
Mm.
I think that he could thrive as a pretty good point guard and actually play decent. With that being said, he could facilitate the ball to guys who really could score, i.e., Westbrook and Paul George.
Yeah, I think he's similar to a Rajon Rondo, not so much in personality, but in play style. He can really get guys involved and galvanize his team and, be the floor general. Like I said, I don't think Westbrook is going to be open to not playing with the ball in his hands. Even at UCLA, Darren Collison should have been a point guard of that team, and who had the ball in his hands all the time? Go figure.
Right. I mean, I'm with you right there. I agree. So it's with the whole thing with Carmelo, he's probably going to end up in Houston, which is fine. I just need to know how much he has left in the tank, because he didn't look too good this last playoff.
Well, when you got your point guard taking 30 shots and you get 8 shots, it doesn't help very much.
Yeah, but then again, Kevin Durant still was able to average 30 with that situation.
Not with 8 shots, though. He was taking about 20, 21 shots a game, even with Westbrook. They were basically taking all the shots for the team. But, I mean, you got a situation where Carmelo's getting 8 shots per game in that series against Utah. I mean, nobody's going to thrive in a situation like that. That's why everybody's so surprised that Victor Oladipo is going and balling out. I'm like, well,
I mean, not only
he's not a spot-up shooter, which he basically was relegated to be a spot-up shooter when Westbrook was on the court with him.
Yeah, but not only that, when he went to Indiana, I mean, he balled and he tried to get other players involved. I mean, that actually helped. And you look, and the same thing with Utah. I mean, I can't praise Utah enough the way they play basketball. They played basketball very well against OKC, and it was like they played basketball as a team.
I can't praise them enough for how they're building their team. The draft.
I agree. Yeah, they're doing a very good job. And I really like this Donovan Mitchell guy. I
keep telling people there's 3 teams in the league who legitimately built their teams through the draft. One of them got rid of one of their stars, Zach LaVine. But Minnesota built their team through the draft as far as their 2 superstars. Wiggins did get traded on draft night or sometime after that, but whatever. Still, pretty much they had their eyes on him and knew Cleveland wanted Kevin Love.
I mean, if you get traded on draft night, I still consider that as building to the draft.
And then you got Golden State, Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, obviously, Draymond Green, and then the third team is who we just talked about, Utah. They did add what's his name, Ricky Rubio. But drafted Donovan Mitchell, drafted Rudy Gobert, drafted Derek Favors. So, I mean,
hold on, did they draft Derek Favors?
I thought they did. He's been there the whole time.
I thought he got drafted by the Nets.
No,
I could be wrong. Let me look that up.
I don't think he was. I thought he.
You might be right, but
yeah, he was a high pick one of those years.
Yeah, he was. That's why I say the Nets, because the Nets was sucking back then.
He did get drafted by them, but did he ever play there?
No, I think he ended up getting traded. That's what I was saying. No, I remember getting, because he's from Georgia Tech. That's how I know. Yeah, he went to Georgia Tech. I do
He must have
remember
played
that.
there for a year because it says 2010 to 2011. Wait, yeah.
Yeah, that's what.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he played. Yeah, he played. He played. Yeah, he
Wow.
played. Yeah, he played for the Nets. He did, and then he went to the. He got traded to the Jazz. That's what I thought.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, because he got drafted. He got traded with Dervin Harris. He got traded with Dervin Harris, future first round picks to the Jazz for Deron Williams.
Oh yeah. Okay. Okay.
Jesus Christ, that was a terrible. Oh,
Yeah, no kidding.
let's talk about another trade. I mean, we had another trade in the NBA recently. Just screwing up my NBA 2K14 mod. I got to get the rosters updated again. You had DeMar DeRozan supposed to be promised that he was going to be with the Raptors, or they wasn't going to trade him or whatever. And then they end up shipping him off to San Antonio for Kawhi Leonard, which looks like, for all intents and purposes, Kawhi Leonard don't even want to be there either.
Well, apparently they said he's warming up to the situation, so good for them. I don't think he's going to resign. I think he's going to make the best of it for 1 year and be out, but that's just me.
I mean, he probably feeling good about it because of the sales tax of his paycheck now. But as far as playing with him, yeah, I mean, you're in Canada, you don't get no crazy sales tax you get down here. But I don't think that he's that excited. Maybe I'm wrong.
I just want Kawhi to one time haul off and smack the hell out of Drake when he gets out of line.
Yeah, right.
I think Kawhi gonna come out and be the complete opposite that he has been. He's gonna be vocal and he's gonna be talking trash. It's gonna be crazy, bro. I think it's finally time that Kawhi comes out of his shell. He's gonna be one of the best players in the NBA again. We already know that. And he's going to be playing in a market where he can dominate that market and really put Toronto on the map as a legitimate threat, not just somebody who had 2 frauds on the team for 7 or 8 years.
I mean, as far as people, I mean, as far as them not wanting to play in their respective teams, I think both teams, if you look at it on paper, both teams actually win when you look at where they're going. Because I think Kawhi is a really good fit with fraud ass Kyle Lowry.
Oh, fuck him. I don't know why. I don't know why. Like, I'm sorry. This is the thing that annoyed me the most about this was the fact that it was DeMar DeRozan traded and not his bum ass.
You already know, but Patty Mills over there,
man,
and San Antonio.
DeJounte Murray, too.
Yeah, they're not. Kyle Lowry wasn't going. The only point guard that San Antonio probably would have picked up, without question, is probably Kyrie Irving. That's probably the only point guard that'll probably end up in San Antonio if they wanted a point guard, not Kyle Lowry there.
Well, somebody else should have traded for him. He's a fucking bum.
But if you look at the fit, I mean, I think it's a perfect fit for both teams. I think DeMar DeRozan will do very well in San Antonio with the coach of Coach Pop.
I think he'll do good, but Jesus Christ, what shooting are they going to have left?
They don't. They don't have. I mean, they don't. He can shoot a little bit, but
not from 3.
No, I'm just talking about just. I'm just talking about shooting
sniper,
in general. Yeah, I mean, he's nice. I mean, but I don't think DeMar DeRozan never was that guy that you rely on for threes. He's a good fit for what they have. They just need other people. Because didn't they get rid of They got
Danny
rid of
Green. That's why I was asking.
Yeah, they got Danny Green. So they don't have any shooters. But I think with him and learning from Coach Pop, I think it'll help. But at the end of the day, I don't think either player would want to stay around. I wouldn't be surprised if the
DeRozan's locked in.
Leads. Yeah, he's locked in, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Kawhi said no, man. Kawhi said no. That's why Magic said, I'm just going to give up on it this year. Y'all can keep him. He's coming here next year. And that's that. So, I will say this.
They're gonna have to bust their ass to try to hold on to him.
I will say this, though. Look out for Damian Lillard getting traded to the Lakers. I don't think it's just hearsay.
No, I've been hearing about that for a while now. Because he wants to stay in Portland, but the problem is Portland can't get no players to play around.
And he's been a lot more open lately about going elsewhere. Somebody asked him, would you be happy if you got traded to the Lakers? And his response was, I'm always happy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we do know he's from Oakland.
No, I mean, like I said, I think, like I said, I think it would work, but I just don't know. I don't think
Damian
so.
Lillard on the Lakers would be something, but I wouldn't like
No, I'm just
Lonzo
saying. I'm just
Ball
talking
to
about the.
fit.
I'm talking about the
Oh
Portland
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
It could work because he wants to be there, but I don't think he's going to be there. I mean, like I said, he said he loves to be in Portland. He's the man in Portland. The problem is nobody wants to come and
If
play
they
with
could
him.
have traded for Kawhi and they could have had Kawhi buy in, you might be talking about a legitimate contender with him, CJ, and Kawhi. Only thing is, they probably would have had to give up CJ.
Oh, well, I'll take that in a heartbeat.
I don't know, bro.
CJ McCollum for Kawhi? Yeah, I would have took that. I mean,
I'm not. Well, this is what I'm saying. I'm not saying that Kawhi is not a 10 times better player, but what I'm saying is they'd be much better together. So to get Kawhi and give up CJ, it's kind of like one step forward, two steps back.
I'll say there. I'll just say one step forward.
Mm.
I ain't gonna say two steps.
I mean, if you're looking at it though, like, okay, who will play the two on the team as is? Like, CJ was pretty much the only two that was relevant on that team. There's nobody else they really have that could even fill in and fill that void. Because nobody else can create their shot on that team other than Shabazz off the bench. So that would create a bit of an issue.
Yeah.
So that's why I would say if you could keep CJ, maybe give up a Nurkic.
Oh no. Now you're talking about keeping. Now I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
No. I get that absolutely. I thought if they were just trading them straight up.
No.
Like,
If it's straight up, then I wouldn't really have an issue with it too much. But I'm saying if there's any way you could keep him, I would keep him because those three would be the big three of that team. Trading Kawhi for CJ straight up would make them better, but would kind of defeat the purpose of bringing Kawhi there. That's my point.
Yeah, I can see that.
But, you know.
Yeah, I understand what you get.
I mean, I saw PG go in there. There was some talk about that, and there was some talk about DeMarcus Cousins going to Washington, and neither one happened. Those were two combinations that would have been really interesting that didn't turn out to happen. All in all I gotta say is based on looking at what these teams are doing as far as their stupid moves, blame Golden State. Because that's what the popular thing is to do these days is, blame Golden State for the lack of parity in the league. Blame Golden State because these teams aren't re-signing the players that they should be re-signing. Blame Golden State because these teams are making dumb trades. Just blame Golden State, bro. It's Golden State, apparently.
I don't know. It's just my only thing with the NBA at the end of the day, what I really don't like, I don't like the fact that how everybody's looking at the superstar. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's looking at the superstar to make waves, and like nobody's really trying to build a team. Just like how you said earlier, it's like there's only 3 teams that are like really trying to build a team. And like you said,
and done rule, man.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's my only gripe with the NBA. Like, nobody's trying to build the team anymore. They just want to free agent everybody out.
It's that one and done rule, bro. Because think about it, the only players that are skipping and hopping around are players who were developed and ready to come in the NBA and ball out. You don't see these one-year dudes. Pretty much since John Wall came out, you don't see these one-year dudes from college dominating and hopping around and it being hot commodities. I mean, it's just not, it's the one and done rule. I think that's really what it is. These players are coming out less developed and less NBA ready, and these teams are saying, fuck it, we're going to go out and get a free agent that is ready because we don't have time to wait for you to develop. Mr. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist.
Oh, Lord. That guy.
Yeah.
I don't have nothing to say about him at all. That dude turned out to be terrible.
Yeah.
Ooh, excuse me. Anything else you want to add? I mean, I think we covered all the topics.
As far as topics, I got one more topic. So, a lot of people want fight night. I understand. I feel your pain. But if you watch any MMA at all, and you are into deep career modes, I would seriously suggest getting UFC 3. Now, the game took a while to get to this point gameplay wise, but as far as the career mode has been lit ever since the day that UFC 3 came out. Pretty much, you have to manage your promotions, as far as promoting the fight, and you have to manage your training. You have to balance the two. You get a certain amount of points to spend to train. You can go to different gyms to work on different aspects of your game, but at the same time, you have to promote your fight, because if you don't promote your fight and your fight doesn't have a lot of hype, once you get to be one of those top echelon stars, you won't get those title opportunities. So you really have to control what you're doing as far as promoting and training with these fights once you create a fighter. And I like that, because in real life, that's how it is. If you're not marketable, it doesn't matter if you're 50, 51, 52 and 0. Nobody's going to care. So, pretty much to make a long story short, if you like career modes and you like combat sports, I would suggest downloading the game. It might be free to try on EA Access. I would try it. I would give it a try before you buy it. That career mode might be the best career mode in any combat game that I've ever played, as far as combat sports, boxing, or anything like that. That's just how good it is.
I want to get in the UFC. You know, I love the sport. I'm just not into the game, because remember when UFC 2 came out, I gave you my beta code.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't have nothing against it. It's just it kind of like on the same length that I feel about soccer.
Mm-hmm.
I like watching soccer, but I'm not that big on, playing it.
Right.
So, I mean, me personally, I'll just have to take it for exactly what you said. I believe you. Yeah. If you say the game is what it is, a career mode, I'm all for career modes. I am. And I'm there with you on that. I don't have a problem with it. It's just, for me personally, I have nothing against it. I don't think it's a bad game. I just,
give us a fight night, man, please.
Well, I agree. Now I will play fight night. I'll play fight.
I mean, I know we're not gonna get Floyd Mayweather, but at this point, I really don't give a goddamn if we don't get Floyd Mayweather. I know that's what they're scared of. Well, if we release a boxing game and we don't have Floyd Mayweather, then people won't buy it. I don't think that's necessarily true. You got a lot of stars out there. You got a lot of classic boxers you can get the licenses for. I think they need to put out another one, man. There's definitely a hunger for it.
Yeah, I agree.
There's definitely a hunger for it. Other than that, we pretty much covered everything we wanted to cover. As we said last episode, July is just a really dry, just dry, pointless month.
And not only that, man, we just been doing things. You've been traveling, I've been traveling. Hell, matter of fact, I'm about to go to Atlanta. I gotta go to a wedding, so I'm traveling again. I mean, at the end of the day, we love talking about these games, and we do a lot. But at the end of the day, we're regular guys, man. We have lives. I mean, this right here is definitely a hobby, and I do appreciate everybody who support it. But it is what it is. I mean, we just doing our own thing.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have stuff to talk about once Madden comes out, obviously. But for July, it's just really dry, man. There's nothing going on, and even if there was stuff going on, we don't always have the time to, just turn the tape on and say, boom, all right, let's go. I'm guessing.
Yeah, one thing about Madden though, if you have Madden on PC, you get it 8 days early.
Yeah, I heard.
I'm really excited.
Because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the EA Access, which is 5 days early. Might use those 10 hours up in that one day, because I'm telling y'all, Madden 19 is y'all in for a treat. If they kept up with what they were supposed to, but
if they kept up with what we had in the beta, I think everybody's.
Oh hell yeah! So I was gonna do the 5 days early and get the 3 day early, and jump into it like that. But 8 days early is insane.
Yeah, PC getting 8 days early.
So what did they get? That means they're getting it Monday.
Yeah, we're getting like the Monday before.
Jeez, next Monday.
Yeah, so I already got it. Once I saw that, I was sold.
Jesus.
So I already got it, and I'm just waiting for it to download. So
Right.
I'm good.
So yeah, that's all we got for this episode, and hopefully you guys enjoyed. Once again, like, share, and come back for a lot more great topics that we have, and suggest any topics that you want us to go over. Make sure you share this with your friends as much as possible. Any constructive criticism is welcome. Any healthy conversation is welcome. And yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, man, I'm good, man. I don't have anything else. Like he covered everything. Like, dislike. If you really like it, comment, and if you really like, subscribe. Cause we're gonna keep doing this. We're gonna be back next week. Hopefully, DJ feels better. Shout out to DJ. Hope you feel better, man. We're under the weather, and that's it, man. I'm good.
Yeah.
Guys, take care.
Y'all take care. Peace.